Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we have a coffee request. If you want to request a video, click over here or buy me a coffee. Link is in the description and the pinned comments. And guys, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. It really helps the channel and helps me be here more often with you guys. Today's request comes from Henrik, and Henrik says, this is a short video about one of Norway's dearest painters, important in strengthening our national identity. Theodor Kittelsen lived from 1857 to 1914. One of his iconic paintings, the Kvetbjørn Kong Valemon, was just sold for 36 million Norwegian crowns, and has been mentioned in Norwegian news lately. I believe it was the most expensive painting ever sold at a Norwegian auction. This painting is shown at the 42-second mark to the 50-second mark. Wow. My boyfriend is related. Wow, how? Like a family member? We have a family member of Kittelsen. That is amazing. Tell me more. Okay, this is the amazing fantasy art of Theodor Kittelsen. Let's go.
Theodor Severin Kittelsen.
Oh, by the way, before we start, I need to give a shout out to the person who made this video. It's from a channel called Cinder Elf. Cinder Elf, okay. The channel and the video is in the description, okay? Let's go.
Theodor Severin Kittelsen is one of my all-time favorite painters.
Oh, that is interesting. Wow. Did he paint about elves and Niseman?
He lived from 1857 to 1914, and, like myself, he was Norwegian. Kittelsen's work were present in my life since early childhood. The painting Soria Moria Castle from 1900 was even used as the cover of the Norwegian literature textbooks when I attended primary school. Soria Moria Castle is based on a classic Norwegian fairy tale by the same name.
Wait, so these are fairy tales. Okay, so this is the 42-second mark.
And in fact, a lot.
Are you saying this was the painting sold for 32 million? Is this the one? 36 million crowns. Wow. This is just a bear, right? It's not a folklore creature. On the other hand, these are, right? These are mythical creatures from Norway. That is scary. Imagine you're like, okay, I'm gonna dive into this, I'm gonna dive into this river or ocean. What is that? It's a river, right? It's a waterfall. And then you see these eyes looking back at you. Dang. That is something scary right there. Okay, let's keep going.
From 1857 to 19. And in fact, a lot of Kittelsen's work was based on stories and fairy tales, as he often was contracted to make book illustrations.
Is that Rapunzel?
One of the main reasons why I love Kittelsen's work is his use of thematic contrasts.
Ooh.
He often mixes the beauty of Norwegian nature with the creepy horror of Norwegian folklore. Sometimes he gives nature intelligence, or gives concepts a physical presence. The painting
So interesting.
Echo is a perfect example of this.
Echo.
Here you can faintly see Kittelsen has painted a physical representation of an echo, as a giant man hiding in the foggy mountains above the fjord,
I see
yelling
him.
back at the people who are yelling at him.
I see him hiding there. I see you. Wow, so he's yelling back at people. I can imagine he's just over there looking at people and then saying, hello. Imagine hearing that. It's an enchanted print that turned into a bear. Okay, prince. An enchanted prince that turned into a bear. So there are movies and cartoons about these things, right? So interesting.
Yelling at him. One of his most famous paintings is
that
the
a spider?
mythological creature called Nøkken in Norwegian. or the neck in English. Necks in Scandinavia were thought to be male water spirits who played enchanted songs on the violin, luring women and children to drown in lakes or streams.
Hi,
in
Cecilia.
some places in the world, necks were thought to be able to transform into beautiful horses, which someone could get stuck to if they tried to touch it, giving the neck an opportunity to drown them.
Whoa. Like
But sometimes the
mermaid.
concepts Kittelsen portrayed were much darker. The Black Death was the first and worst plague of many that ravaged Norway for 300 years from 1348 to around 1650. This was long before Kittelsen was contracted to illustrate a book about the Black Death. But even so many years later, the disease was known to be horrifying and
What was the Black Death? This was the biggest disease related. I think it decimated the whole population of the world, wasn't it? But does anybody know what that is? Like what caused it? I can't remember the history of the Black Death, but I know it was a plague, right?
Descriptions were probably a great inspiration for those pieces. Kittelsen represented the plague as a decrepit old woman, roaming from village to village, spreading her disease. During his career, Theodor Kittelsen...
Can you imagine if the Black Death was caused by one old lady who didn't, isolate herself, who didn't quarantine? She was just like, I can't stand staying in this house. I gotta go out. And then just infected everyone?
Pretty much defined what Norwegians picture when
Fleas
we
on
hear
rats.
the word troll. No, not the internet troll, the folklore fantasy type of troll.
The trolls.
Kittelsen's trolls were ugly, fat and old. They had giant feet, giant ears and giant noses. They also have a cow tail, a detail he took from the Henrik Ibsen poem Peer Gynt. Beyond those details, trolls came in all shapes and sizes. Things most modern people in the world would classify as trolls, giants, goblins and orcs are all called trolls in Norwegian folklore. They may look and act different, but they are all different strains of the same species.
Bro, that troll looks like... Wait, it has 4 heads? This looks like Attack on Titan. It would be awesome if Norway had like an Attack on Titan, but it was like Attack on Trolls. You know what I'm saying? The Black Death was a bubonic plague pandemic that occurred in Europe from 1346 to 1353. It was one of the most fatal pandemics in human history, as many as 50 million people perished. Wow, 50%. I thought it was 1/3 of the population, but it's actually more. It was 50%. Dang.
Kittelsen even painted a sea troll, and as you can see, he often revisited his paintings.
That looks horrifying.
Ever since I was a child, these paintings have made me think about how the world could hold more than what we can see, just under the surface. I cannot walk in the mountains without imagining the trolls that live there. I cannot enter a bog without cringing, thinking about how the tussocks I'm stepping on are probably the soft heads of some creatures down below. And I cannot look at a cloudy sky without thinking about what civilizations could be living up there. One of my favorite hobbies is writing fiction, and I think that maybe without Theodor Kittelsen, I would never have started coming up with my own stories, and I'm eternally grateful to him for that.
Wow, okay. That was pretty insightful and very, very interesting. So he was famous for his trolls. Like normally when they depict a troll, do they think of him? Do they get his depiction of a troll? Like when they make a movie. In fact, there is a movie. Let me have this segue to talk about the wish list, because I haven't heard or I haven't learned a lot about trolls, but there is a movie that everyone has been requesting, and it's in the wish list, called Troll Hunter. So here on the channel, you can request a video and then I'll react to your request. But the wish list is for you to not only request it by yourself, but a group of people who are interested in the same thing to request together. So instead of requesting individually, the wish list is for you to request as a group, as a whole. And we have this Troll Hunter movie here from 2010, who has, which made it to the wish list. There are a bunch of other, options here as well, but this one is fourth in line to be the next one reacted. So if you guys want to go and contribute and support there, then we will be reacting to Troll Hunter. And somebody said it was, there's a message here even. Somebody said there was it's an insightful movie to learn about the trolls. And yeah, from what I can tell, trolls are like the number one mythical creature from Norway, right? The Black Death was devastating, especially for smaller countries like Norway. Wow. Yeah, so a very important video about this. You said it was one of the most famous artists or painters in from Norway, right? Imagine 32 million crowns for the painting. That is incredible. Thank you so much, Henrik, for sending me this. And if you're a fan of Theodor Kittelsen, then let me know more in the comments. I normally read the comments when I get free time. I normally like reading all the comments and learning more about it as well. His paintings look very what's the word I'm looking for here? Like there's a lot of detail where you have to kind of like the man who is hiding in the mountains. You have to look deep into it. So it's one of those things that it's not. I'm not looking for the word insightful, but I'm looking for detailed, maybe. Not sure, but it's very interesting. I'm browsing through the images here as well. Just to see, it's not inspirational. What is the word, guys? Like when you stare into a painting and you analyze it, and it's not analytical. I don't know what the word is, but it's one of those paintings that makes you analyze it. I don't know if there's like a word for it. Attractive? No. Let me know in the comments, what's the best word to describe his art? For me, it's the feeling of you have to really analyze it and take it in and look at it and kind of like absorb it. So because it's not clean cut, there's a lot of nuances in it. But anyways, let me know the best word to describe this. And thank you, Henrik, for this video request. If you want to request a video just like Henrik did, then go over to Buy Me a Coffee or click over here and you can watch more of the playlist over here. Take care for now. Bye-bye.